Welcome to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. We had the honor and the privilege of filming right here at the historical Carpenter House, right here in Plano, Texas. I hope you enjoy these programs. Hi everyone, and welcome to Visibly Fit. I'm your host, Wendie Pett. You know, being visibly fit is about being fit mind, body, and spirit. As a man thinketh, so he becomes. What happens if you are brought up in a condition, a situation at home where you've been involved with mind manipulation or verbal abuse? It happens quite often. And these people, or maybe you're experiencing it right now, but you grow up and you become a victim, and it's hard to break free from that mentality. But there's hope. There is a way to break free from that. And I'm so excited to have here with me today my dear friend, Tracey Mitchell. She is an author, a speaker, and a world-class coach. And, you know, she's going to talk to us about mind manipulation and verbal abuse. Yes. You know, you've got it all together, Tracey. Look at you.
Don't we wish? Yeah, we're friends. So
yeah, we are
better than that.
But, you know, this is to make a point. You know, there's so many people that are walking down the street that look like they've got it all together, but they have experienced hurt and pain, and just the reality is they've been a victim. And so how do you come out shining and go through life with a new mindset, a renewed mindset?
Well, it's a process. You know, you and I were talking earlier about how impactful words really are, how impactful words can be. You know, they tell us that on average, a child will hear the word no more than 400 times a day. That's more than 148,000 times in their formative years.
Wow.
So we see that the word no can quickly become a power word. And for many of us, we have been conditioned to expect no.
Right.
Whether it's for business opportunity, whether it's a relationship in life, we have become conditioned to expect the word no.
Right, right. And so whether it's from our family, friends, like you said, even business relationships, we just assume they're going to say no. It's rejection. It's the rejection.
It goes to the heart of the matter. We were talking about mind manipulators earlier. What is manipulation? It's the ability to extract from another person something that they're unwilling to give. You think about that for a moment. Manipulation is the ability to extract from others what they're unwilling to give. And then, I don't know about you, but I've experienced my fair share of mind manipulators. They're covert, they're pros, they're experts.
They are. You don't even realize you're being manipulated at the time.
I have no idea.
Right.
You know, I met this gentleman one time. He was an absolute pro. He convinced his proprietor that he was leasing from, even though he did not pay his mortgage, he convinced the proprietor that he in turn was the victim.
Wow.
That's what manipulators do. They make the innocent feel like they are the victim. And then reverse roles.
Right, and then the innocent walks away, becoming the victim, and then acting out as a victim later in life, or just in that situation or circumstance. But how do you break free from that? How do you break free from being manipulated? First of all, how do you recognize it?
Well, the first thing you have to do is recognize what manipulation is, and then I'm releasing a new book coming up.
I know, so
and in that chapter, it deals entirely with manipulation. It gives us 6 things that all manipulators do, how they subvert that conversation. So step 1 would be to recognize that you are in the clutches, that you're in the grip of a mind manipulator. You can't break free from something if first you don't discern what that thing is.
Right.
So the first step is always discerning that you are in the hand of a mind manipulator.
Okay, now that first step could be difficult for many, maybe because they don't have that gift of discernment, or they're not utilizing it.
Right.
Okay, we have that gift, but maybe they're not utilizing it. So what do you suggest in that situation? How do you get someone to recognize it if they don't have those honing skills of discernment, and they're not praying about it, and you know, do you go to a friend, do you go to a mentor and ask, what do you think of this situation?
You go to a mentor. I'll give you an analogy. I was speaking one day, and afterwards I was dealing with mind manipulators, and I had a lady come up to me, and I had talked about how women actually go to prison for crimes that they have not even committed. They willingly. A lady came up to me following, and she said, I spent 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 jail sentences for crimes that I had not even committed, because my boyfriend had convinced me that the best scenario for our family was if I went and served his time.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
So yes, you need someone who will red flag you. If you don't have the discernment to see it for yourself, find someone, learn what those cues are, learn the verbal verbiage of a
Right.
mind manipulator.
Right.
Learn
Well,
how they subvert the truth against you.
okay, so you mentioned that one. You said there's 6 in your book.
There are. I
Can
can't.
we talk about any more of those?
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to go back to the power and the precept of no.
Okay. Because we do. We hear it all the time. And we're always telling our kids, like you said, we're telling them, no, don't do that.
Yes.
Don't touch that. Don't do that. When they're little on,
Yes.
you know?
And we take no in the negative context well, but we're not assertive in telling others no. We're not good in instilling boundaries.
Oh, yes, I'll do. That is so true.
Right.
Very
And
true.
so,
Fill our plate with.
Chronic manipulators look for those who have suffered
Difficulty.
financial loss. They search, believe this or not, the web and newspapers. They search for those who are in the obituary columns, who've had relatives that have passed. If it's a wife that's been married, they will target that key individual.
Yeah.
Looking for somebody that's emotionally vulnerable in that time, and they begin to massage and begin to work, forming a relationship
Right.
for those who are already crippled emotionally.
So, you know, that's good to know. And it's not saying don't be trustworthy and don't
Yes.
build relationships with people, because it's very important. But
Right.
just be cognizant and aware
Yes,
that
very
there
much.
are people out there like that. Because,
Yes.
I mean, I've seen situations with seniors, for instance,
Yes.
that, yeah, they're alone. They don't have a clue with their financial, maybe it's with their home, their
Right.
mortgage, whatever. And they make bad decisions because these predators is what they are. They're predators.
Predators. We have a
Yeah.
whole section on there, predators and parasites, a whole chapter on that
that's
very
good.
thing. I would never, I met a man who found himself in the middle of a financial scam. And one of the things he did not discern, they swindled him into believing that he could borrow money to make money. If I can be real candid, one of the primary things that I discourage is falling into the trap of borrowing money to make money. 9 times out of 10, it's an out-and-out fraud and an out-and-out scam.
Right, right. And, you know, there's a lot of those out there. You know, there really are.
every day.
And it seems legit, and it seems encouraging, and they're desperate.
They're
desperate. Yeah.
Don't fall into that trap of being desperate.
Right, right. Now, we were talking about words, and
Yes.
you know, we were saying, you know, as a man thinketh, so he becomes. So not only words that you are being told,
Yes.
but words that you tell yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. They tell us that the most crucial conversation of every day is the ongoing, perpetual conversation that you have in your mind with yourself
Self-talk,
daily.
and it's negative.
Yes.
A lot of times, then you're
And
going to
it's
start acting
24
out
hours,
negatively.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
The longest conversation that you will ever have in your life is
glad
the
no one's in my head.
ongoing perpetual conversation
kidding.
with yourself. You know,
It's true.
I don't know if you've ever met a homeless person before.
Oh, sure.
But I met an engaging, she's smart, beautiful, articulate. Her name was Star. And she lived on what we would call Skid Row. And I met Star, and I began to ask her, Star, did you ever envision that you would one day wake up and be living on Skid Row? And she said, Tracey, there's no way. She said, growing up, I had big dreams for my life, big plans for my life. And I said, well, what in the world happened? You know, why did you not pursue those dreams? And she simply said these words. She said, as a child, I was verbally and physically abused by my parents. And she said, from that moment forward, I believe that every idea that I had was negated, was pushed aside.
Right.
And she said, I grew up with a mindset. Yeah, so she said, I gave up on life. And she said, I began that slippery slope, that downward spiral with drugs, street prostitution, and she found herself living on the streets.
Well, and because a lot of that numbs the situation. I mean, that's what it is. It's not that they want to become an addict or that they even want to do drugs in the first place, but they start doing it, and then it numbs the pain, and then it's like, oh, I'll just go here for a while.
Well, the amazing thing about Star is that I took about a day, and I began to pour into her. And I remember telling her Jeremiah 29, verse 11, which talks about how God has prosperous plans, positive plans for our lives. And I began to walk her through biblical principles. And today, can I tell you that this woman is no longer living on Skid Row, that today she's out. She has a mission rescuing women. She's a biblical teacher and leading a very successful life now.
Well, that is an incredible story, and you know that's really what people need to hear, because no matter where you are, what your circumstance is at the current moment, you can change. You can be delivered. All it takes is being, a shift of mindset and knowing that you're a child of God. You are loved, and you're worthy of a great, wonderful life. I mean, we're blessed. We are incredibly blessed. So you got to receive that and know it. And I think it's awesome. You're a great mentor to a lot of women, Tracey.
Wonderful.
And I'm excited about your book coming out.
Thank you.
And I just think about the pain that you have endured in your personal life, and how you have turned that around to mentor and to help and assist those that are in similar situations.
And you're the same. We're both life coaches.
Right,
so
we've
and I think we're successful life coaches because we've been there. We know what it
there.
takes to do the turnaround.
Absolutely.
Well,
so if we can do
so
it,
much.
you can do it too. That is so true. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so stay tuned because we're going to come back and listen to a fella that experienced bullying and how that affected him physically, mentally, and spiritually. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Wendie Pett, founder of Grace in Action. Did you know that there is a lot in your community that you can do to give a hand up, not a handout, but a hand up to single moms and children in need? Your dollars mean so much. Whether it's a small amount or a large amount, it all adds up. And so I want to thank you in advance for your donation. You can go to grace-n, the letter N, action.org, and anything that you donate is greatly appreciated. Thank you in advance. Have you ever told anyone, go walk it off? Well, it turns out that's great advice. It's great for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Hi, I'm Wendie Pett, fitness and wellness expert and creator of the Visibly Fit exercise and wellness system. With Walk It Off Now, it's a 6-week walking workout program. You'll get 6 weeks of online videos right to your email inbox. You get an ebook, a walking journal, plus access to my private Facebook community to keep you accountable. So what are you waiting for? Go to walkitoffnow.com and join me. Hi, and welcome back to Visibly Fit. What lies in your life have you decided to believe?
Sorry, stay real loud.
Hi, and welcome back to Visibly Fit. What lies in your life have you decided to believe? Some negative self-talk, maybe? What's going on in your world that has affected you throughout your life as far as the self-talk, or maybe what people have told you that hasn't been true that you decided to believe? What happened to love thy neighbor as yourself? What happens if you don't love yourself enough? How can you love thy neighbor? So I have a guest here with me today who we're going to talk about loving yourself and what that means and going through a bullying situation. How do you turn that around and say, you know what, I am a worthy human being and I'm not going to listen to the bullying words any longer. I have guests with me, Brian Cuban. I'm so glad he's here. He is a very brave, remarkable man to join us because this is something that a lot of men don't really talk about. You're kind of shy about this, but it's very common. And you've gone through the bullying, but that led to anorexia, bulimia, body dysmorphia syndrome?
That's right. Drug addiction, alcoholism, near suicide attempt.
Wow.
And I've been able, at least to date, to come out on the good end.
Yeah, and you're here to talk about it.
And I'm here to talk about it, so
right.
So there's a positive there.
Right. But bullying is such a big crisis really going on right now, and you hear of these kids committing suicide because of the words that these kids are saying that are so negatively impacting the kids that you grow up believing certain things that are not true.
Absolutely.
And you experienced that.
Absolutely. I was a fat kid, overweight. Use the term
what
fat.
Did you weigh?
When I was in junior high, I don't know how old that is, 11 or 12, I was probably about 240 or 245 pounds. Which,
you're a tall guy.
But when you're a little kid,
I
wasn't playing football. It was
right,
fat.
Right.
I was a fat kid.
Right.
And I underwent a lot of bullying. And there were very traumatic examples. And back then it was called being picked on. Bullying wasn't even a term. You were picked on.
What about, if they pick on you, it means they like you.
That's right.
That's right. That's not true.
That's right.
They're just being mean.
I remember, very traumatic stuff. I was what's called, I don't know if you know, pantsed. Do you know what being pantsed is?
Yes, actually.
Well, I was pantsed. Walking home from school one day with a group of kids who I was trying to fit in with, sort of hanging on the...
I've never known anyone that's really been pantsed.
Yes, I was pantsed, and it was more than just pants.
But tell them what this is, because...
Pantsed is when they pull down your pants around your underwear.
Yeah, how humiliating.
And for some kids it's all right, but... in
the locker room and kidding around, that's something.
Kidding around. I was walking home from school with a group of kids. I had on these cool gold John Travolta. It was 1978 or 79. Yeah. Saturday Night Fever was happening, and I had these cool disco pants on.
And they were jealous.
They started making fun of them, how they fit tightly around me, and they ripped them off me. They pantsed me.
Oh,
then they all grabbed them and ripped them into shreds and threw them out in the street. So I was, 11 or 12 years old. I'm in my underwear a mile from home. And the fat kid had to walk. I walked home in my underwear. a mile from home. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I can remember the kid who did it.
Sure.
I can remember the people who were there.
Sure.
And it left a very traumatic impression on my life. And, that was one of the more traumatic bullying things, but there are always the weight comments. And,
sure.
And, people can say, get over it, get over it, get over it. Everyone gets bullied. Everyone gets bullied. But unless you experience it,
right.
Everyone may get bullied, but everyone is not the same.
Right.
And how they deal with it.
Absolutely. And when you're bullied like that, and some people don't even have the physical bullying, such as being pantsed or whatever, but even just the words that people use, it's so scarring and so traumatic that it does have an effect on your life. And when you decided, I'm just going to starve myself so that I'll get thin and I'll show them, you start changing
Absolutely.
The way you're treating yourself because you want to fit in and you don't want to be bullied anymore. You're just sick of it. Right?
And it's cumulative. It's cumulative like you're building a house.
Right.
And the words, these hateful words, whether it's you're fat or you're this or you're that, are mortar in this house that lasts forever. And it's difficult to, to break that house down to get back to the real you.
Right.
So for me, the cumulative effect of all this, and then all of a sudden you reach a tipping point where I developed body dysmorphia at a teenage where I basically looked in the mirror and no longer saw me. I saw this distorted image.
You just hated what you saw all the time.
That I hated what I saw, and all of a sudden it becomes, how do you fix that image? How do you fix that image? Okay, and that's when you start getting into all the unhealthy behaviors.
Right. And you know what, Brian, and those of you watching, I think that like you said, this is pretty common for men, but I know women for sure go through similar things like that as far as the body dysmorphia syndrome because, they're always nitpicking of, if I did this and if I did that, it could be better this way, and they're never satisfied. But I think the key is really to, just start changing our mindset and our spiritual well-being as far as knowing that we are a creation of God. We're made in His image. And we're all the same, we're loved and we're worthy.
And
You're
right, it took me a long time and a lot of heartache and a near suicide attempt. My family, my brothers came in my house.
And your brother is Mark Cuban.
Yes, the owner of the Mavericks.
They
intervened. I had a .45 automatic on my counter. I had emailed a friend for bullets. He was smart enough to reach out to my family and say, hey, something's wrong.
Thank God, yeah.
And, you slip into these things so easily.
Sure. Because you just want to escape all that, right?
That's right. It becomes a progressive rolling snowball, and it all started with bullying as a child.
Right,
and then it went to...
And in the home, there was some situations in the home, right?
I didn't get along well with my mother.
Your mom, right.
And that added a lot to it.
She said some hurtful things.
Said some hurtful things.
Sure.
And, we're great now, and we've gotten past that. And you believe these things.
Sure, you do. You're told something so much, you do. You start to believe
whether it's your mother or your friends are telling you these things.
Or even yourself telling you.
Then you begin to tell yourself, and then you no longer see you. And it took me, it took some terrible, events for me to actually start understanding that even though my brain, body dysmorphia, even now you look in a mirror and you have to have coping mechanism when you say, that's not what I see.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you have, it's a lot of behavior modification and say, that is not the real me. I'm okay.
Yeah, start doing the positive affirmations and training your mind.
You say to yourself, that is not what people see.
Right.
I don't have to look away from people. I can look at myself in the mirror because I'm okay.
Right.
And it takes a lot of behavior modifications. It's taken me years of counseling. Because you have to get honest about how you got there.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's just Band-Aid, Band-Aid, Band-Aid.
Exactly, like with the addictions
right.
and such too. But for those that are watching that may have been bullied, or maybe you have children that are being bullied, it breaks my heart. And for you to share this story with us, thank you. That's such bravery. But what would you tell them if they're being bullied? What can they do to stop this? I mean, it's not right.
What I would say to parents is that being bullied is not, or being bullied may be inevitable that kids are going to be bullied.
But don't overlook it.
That doesn't mean you have to view it as a rite of passage.
Right.
Talk to your kids about it.
Right.
Know what your kids are, what's being said online. Know what's being said in school. Ask your kids if they're happy.
Right.
And if they're happy.
Like that communication,
knowing,
having that relationship with your child.
Understand your child's peer relationships in school and outside of school.
Yeah.
Because, again, they may be getting bullied, but you have to give them an outlet for it.
Right.
If they don't have an outlet for it, they are going to eventually look in that mirror and hate themselves.
Right, right. Well, I appreciate you sharing so much. And
well, thank you for having me.
Yes, and hey, you're not going anywhere because we're going to actually do a few exercises when we come back. But you know, I thank him for being here. If you are suffering from a bullying situation or even a body dysmorphia disorder, you know, email me at Wendie@wendiepett.com, and I'll talk to you about this further, and we can talk too. I mean, you've got a website.
I do. And
what's your website?
BrianCuban.com. But I don't write that much about that. I do more on my Facebook page and stuff about that.
Well, I definitely coach people on that. So let's talk about that, because you can be healed of that. You can be delivered, because again, you are a child of God. You are born in His image, and you're beautiful just the way you are. And so there's always room for being stronger and being better for God. But where you are right now, it's okay, as long as you're taking positive steps into the right direction to becoming
I agree.
better. I mean, we can always be better. There's that fine line.
There's always an alternative, and there's always a way towards the positive. You don't have to bottle it up.
Exactly.
And and let it build upon itself year after year after year.
Do those positive
Deal
things.
with it early, get honest early.
And have someone that you can talk to about it.
Have someone
That's
you can
the
talk
biggest
to,
thing.
whether it's your parents. I mean, as you get older, if that's not in a self-help group,
Yep.
there are all kinds of outlets.
Yes, exactly.
There are all kinds of outlets.
Right. Okay, well, good. Well, don't go away. We're going to come right back with some exercises in just a minute on Visibly Fit. Hi there, it's Wendie Pett with Visibly Fit, and you know what? I am so excited that you join me every week to watch the show and to see new guests come on, different experts, and to join me in these exercise segments. I know you are, right? You are. Anyway, as my gift to you, just for being a part of Visibly Fit every week and joining me, because you're a big part of the show, I want to give you free videos. All you have to do is go to my website at wendiepett.com, or you can go to my Facebook fan page and sign up and get your free videos to become Visibly Fit. Thank you. While you're out in your car running errands, at the stoplight or at a stop sign, you can get in a workout too. It's getting creative with your workout. Now what I want to show you is very simple, but it's effective. I want you to put your hands like this on the steering wheel, and I want you to press in with all your might. And you'll squeeze and squeeze. As you can see, my arms are tensed. I'm using major tension here. I'm working my chest, my arms, and my shoulders. You'll hold that for 10 to 12 seconds. It's very effective. Now go ahead and put your hands in blades and take your hands in your steering wheel and press out. This is going to work your outer shoulder and your triceps. Good. Now you can actually take your hands on top of your steering wheel and underneath your steering wheel and press. Press with all your might. Good. Squeeze. And again, you'll hold these for 10 to 12 seconds. And reverse, alternate, and press. Good, you can see that I'm shaking. These work. Now the last one I want you to try is put your hands here at the bottom of your steering wheel column and pull. Pull with all your might. You're going to work your upper back, your shoulders, your arms. You'll really feel this. But remember, be it a stop sign or a stoplight. So get these workouts into your workday even while you're on the run. Hi, it's Wendie Pett here, and I am speaking out on behalf of Gospel for Asia and the women and the children that are suffering in India. You may not be aware, but there are many baby girls are being aborted right now because they're a girl. There's also widowed women and single moms are being shunned and tossed to the streets with nowhere to turn, just trying to survive. And we can make a difference. We need your help. Go to this website, become a sponsor. It's only $30 a month, and you can make a difference in their life and the lives around them. Welcome back to Visibly Fit. I have Brian Cuban here with us today, and we just got through talking about being bullied, and that's what happened as a kid for him, and he went through some changes. I mean, you acted out with anorexia and bulimia and body dysmorphia syndrome and
steroid addiction,
and steroids and the gamut right here.
You name it, I've been addicted to it.
This is good. But you know, you've done 8 marathons.
Yes.
You've gone to the extreme that way, and then you've gone to the extreme by lifting weights, and then you've gone to the extreme of not doing anything.
That's right.
So I want to share with the audience that it's all about balance. You know.
That's right.
Being healthy is not about banging up your body so bad that you're going to be in pain and hurt
No,
later.
you're right.
You
You're
know?
right. Absolutely.
So you want to do simple exercises that won't put wear and tear on your joints, tendons, or ligaments. And that's what I teach. Visibly Fit is about mind-muscle connection. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do. And I know you're in a long sleeve shirt and we're
all good.
outside, but we won't sweat too bad, I
Let's
promise.
do it.
Okay. So what we're going to do is you're just going to put your arms out like this. You'll have you go behind me. And you have them out like this, but you're going to have tension in your arms, okay? And you're going to like make a muscle, all right? So you're squeezing your arms. There you go. So you're doing this with us, right? Squeeze your arms all the way in, and then I want you to take them all the way up to the top. Now you can see that I'm shaking. Push as hard as you can. Use that tension. Good, Brian. And then bring it down with tension. Almost like a lat pull down right here. Yeah? Okay, good. And then take it out. We're shaking. We're working pretty hard here, right? Yeah. Okay, now that was just one.
Wow, that's a good one.
One rep.
Yes.
Now you would do 10 to 12 of those. Okay. But obviously it's working the bicep, the tricep, the shoulders, and it's simple. You can do it anywhere, anytime.
Definitely felt that.
And this is your gym. You take it with you. It's your body. God gave us our gym. So very fun. So, and this is a healthy way to work out. It's not so hardcore that anyone can do it, whether you've never worked out a day in your life or you're a professional athlete. So the next one I want to show you is just simple. It's an isometric, and this is going to work the shoulder, okay? All I want you to do is take your elbow here, and you're going to push into your hand and try to resist. This hand's going to push against your elbow and try to resist, okay? And you'll hold. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and you'll hold for 10 to 12 seconds. Okay, you feel that? Uh-huh. You might sweat.
I am sweating. It's good.
That's good. All right, now, other side, because we don't want to be lopsided with that. But don't you feel it in your shoulder?
Yeah, got my heart rate up too.
That's good, right? Just a simple move. You can do it with us right here on the couch, right?
That's right.
If you're watching on the couch. Maybe you're already standing up with us. I don't need to tell you to stand up. Okay, and press. Ready? Come on, harder. I like the face. That's good. That's good. He's working it hard. So again, 10 to 12 seconds, perfect. And those are little things that you can do in the office or at a stoplight when you're, in your car. So it's working your workouts into your work day, and that's what I like about Visibly Fit exercises, is because you can do them anywhere, anytime.
Absolutely, those are great exercises.
Yes. Should we do one more? Do we have time for another one? I think we do. So let's do one more.
Okay.
And I do this one a lot because it's so simple. And again, this is one you can do in the car or at your desk or whatever. Just put this arm right here, this arm here, and you're going to press the two together, like trying to push up, press down, and you're going to press and squeeze. You can see you're shaking. Yep. Squeeze the chest, the arms. Good. Very nice. And then switch.
I guess I got to remember to breathe.
Breathe. Good. Very nice. Good. You're squeezing. Good. So again, you're working the biceps and the triceps. It's a quick, simple exercise. Get your heart rate up, and you're really not doing much of anything. We're standing in one place, so it doesn't take any space.
No, those were great.
So,
I will definitely do those.
Good. I have plenty more for you. So, anyway, thanks for joining us. I hope that you learned something from the show. And if you are going through any of these situations with bullying or mind manipulation or verbal abuse, seek counseling or email me. I'd be more than happy to assist you. But we really appreciate you coming on the show. It was fun doing the exercises.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. We'll see you next week on Visibly Fit.